A man sits in a prison interview room, his posture unnervingly relaxed as he faces the psychologist across a table. His eyes hold hers with unnerving steadiness, and his voice carries a careful, calculated charm, polite, articulate, yet chillingly devoid of warmth. The thick file resting between them tells a different story, cataloging decades of violence, a strangled girlfriend, a convenience store clerk savagely beaten for $43, a trail of creditors ruined by intricate lies. He dissects each accusation with detached precision, reframing each brutal assault as mere misunderstandings, and arson as creative problem solving. When confronted about the shattered lives he's left in his wake, he only offers a dismissive shrug and says to the psychologist, "People move on, doctor. So should you." Within the hour, the psychologist must distill the unsettling performance into a single pivotal number derived from the Psychopathy Checklist-Revised, the PCL-R. That score will echo through the courtrooms and parole board hearings, carrying immense weight in deciding whether this man will ever walk free again. What's going on, boners? I'm the McDonald meat man, Mustafa. Open up that toilet you call a brain and get ready for me to drop my fucking big old stinky hairy ass cheeks on it and drop some big old knowledge deuces in the toilet you call your mind. Today we're breaking down what the PCL-R is, the background, how it's structured, the PCL-R is used in practice, and much more. Nothing too crazy is going to be going on screen as usual, so you could do the laundry or play Warhammer or whatever the fuck you do, jerk off, I don't know. The Psychopathy Checklist-Revised didn't crawl out of a vacuum. It was forged in the late 20th century by Dr. Robert D. Hare, a psychologist staring into the abyss of criminal minds. And I mean really staring into this shit, staring at you like when your mom stares at you when you bring home an F on your report card and she's deciding on how hard she wants to beat your ass. Originally, he just wanted a fucking research tool, a way to measure the icy detachment, the predatory charm, the void where empathy should be. But the justice system, always hungry for tidy labels, hijacked it. Just like how people who may or may not look like me may allegedly, hypothetically hijack some planes on September 11th. What started as an academic exercise morphed into a forensic sledgehammer slammed down in courtroom and parole hearings to decide who's broken beyond repair. Now I know what you're thinking, pussy farts. What was its purpose? To pin down psychopathic traits with a critical precision, promising a standardized way to gauge danger, turning chaotic human darkness into a neat, scoreable pathology. Take complexity and sound your piss pipe with it. The PCL-R's power lies in its brutal simplicity, its 20-item clinical scale, a psychological autopsy where every trait gets dissected. And listen up, piss demon, we're talking about each item from glib superficial charm to lack of remorse is scored cold, 0, or absent, 1, maybe, or 2, fuck yeah dude. It's the max score, you may be asking yourself. 40. But only nerds know that shit, and I'm not a fucking nerd. You are though, because you know that shit now. That 10, 20, 30 number score brands you, but the real guts lies in its two-factor skeleton. Factor 1, the psychopath's masks, the charm, the pathological lying, the emotional vacuum or empathy suffocates. Factor 2 is the bloody aftermath, the impulsivity, the parasitic lifestyle, the criminal versatility that leaves wreckage in its wake. To score it, clinicians don't just talk to the subject, they dig through it like gooners dig through Twitch trying to find the next VTuber model to jerk off to. Records, score reports, medical files, each scar, each lie, each victim becomes data. It's part interview, part inquisition. In the wild, the PCL-R isn't just a test, it's a weapon. Prosecutors wield it like a hammer in sentencing, slamming it down to argue. Just like how your neighbor slams his meat into your mom, prosecutors will say shit like, "I'm gonna go out and lie to you bastard forever." Parole boards clutch onto these scores like holy scriptures, or like Smeagol admiring his precious, denying freedoms because a number whispers, "He'll kill again." It's the cornerstone of risk assessments for violent recidivism, a crystal ball that claims to predict who will reoffend. But its reach is wider than just cells and court orders. Researchers use it to profile criminal archetypes, hunting patterns in the chaos. Clinicians deploy it in maximum security psych wards, diagnosing so-called untreatable. Gather around, children, because I'm going to give you this dirty little slut's dirty little truth. That gold standard label, it's polished bullshit in practice. Same man evaluated by two different experts can swing wildly on the scale. One gives him a 28, high risk, another one gives him a 21, manageable. Justice should never hinge on a clinical coin toss. But your parents' divorce should hinge on that DNA test. I doubt you're your dad's. You look nothing like him. But don't fret, little boners. There are new tools being ready to roll out, such as the Comprehensive Assessment Psychopathic Personality. It ditches criminal items entirely, focusing on personality domains. Attachment, dominance, emotional, and still predict violence as accurately as the PCL-R in Spanish prison, proving you don't need a rap sheet to measure broken empathy. We stand at a crossroads where the PCL-R exposed psychopathy as a real measurable force, not a myth, not a metaphor. That definitely matters, but its legacy is stained by misuse, lazy evaluators turning nuanced souls into numbers. Courts treating its digits like divine verdicts, and a system that confuses risk with fate. And listen, I'm not saying burn the checklist, it's about demanding better. And that's all I got, titty enjoyers. I've been Mustafa, you've been annoying, and I've been dumb. Leave a dislike on this video because I know you hated it as much as I did. Subscribe because I already know you're a masochist. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.